Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, May 20th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick, before I get to the watch list, I first want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering. So if you like what you see here and you want to learn more about this tool, then certainly get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the page. One note though, because it is a live event, I understand that maybe you already have something on your schedule this evening, or who knows, maybe you're watching it Friday morning, for example, and you've already missed it. The event will be recorded, so after it's over, after I get it uploaded, I would be happy to send you a link to the event. So if you're interested in still seeing it and you just can't make it, go ahead, drop me an email to clay@claychart.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to that recording. A couple quick clarification points. First off, this number over here will be changing along with the candlestick here, still be moving around. That's because the market's still open for a little bit of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. So just keep that in mind. And then also, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame. So for you beginners out there, what that means is each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. And as you can see here, first one, ticker NURO, very, very powerful late afternoon. Now, don't get me wrong, it was already a good start to the day, big gap up, pulled back here, and then broke out through that trend line, and it just continues to break out, which brings about the main question moving into tomorrow is how much further is this breakout going to go? Is this the start of something even bigger? Now, think about that question. In order for me to even ask that question, something significant needs to happen in the first place, and that's the entire idea behind a watch list. Find unique situations, find interesting situations, and then watch them. Not rush out and just buy them, but watch them and observe how they behave. And if they do ultimately behave in a way that fits your personal trading strategy, then yeah, of course, you can structure a trade plan around those. But the core point here is that this was definitely a significant event. It's definitely a very interesting event as I speak, and this thing just continues to boom during the last 30 minutes. So from a pullback perspective, interesting level could potentially be right here at that former breakout point at $4.80. And then as far as areas of resistance are concerned, just a question of can the price push up through these highs right here at $5.90. So keep an eye on that. But overall, no doubt about it, very, very powerful move. So certainly worth at least keeping an eye on for Friday. Next one, GRAB. And what's interesting about this is the fact that it started to go sideways here. Now, why is this interesting? Well, let's backtrack a little bit. How'd the day start off? Massive move. And then what happened? There was a pullback. And during these pullbacks, during these sections right here, it always becomes a little sketchy because it's a question of, all right, is this the start of the end? Was this just kind of a pump and now everything's going to get destroyed to the downside? And we seemingly are having our answer here that no. Now, let me be very clear. Just because the price has started to go sideways does not mean that for sure guaranteed this is going to continue on up, only if it were that easy. My point here is it now becomes valid. It becomes a plausible thought process to have that, yeah, maybe, just maybe, this pullback is over. It wasn't a dump. It was just simply a pullback, and now this thing might gain some energy back to the upside. Again, to be clear, there are no guarantees, so I'm not saying that is for sure going to happen. I'm just saying that with this sideways price movement, it now becomes a much more plausible thought process to have, with that key area of support now being at the 307 mark. In terms of areas of resistance, key level that stands out to me right up here at $3.25. So yeah, if you like to play pullbacks, and more specifically pullbacks that seemingly have found some sort of bottom, you like to play this price range, then I definitely say get this one on your watch list. Next, IMAC started off as a penny stock on the day and got up over $1. Although what makes this very interesting now is check out this last 30 minutes. Looking pretty rough. However, you do have to keep in mind that one single 30-minute session does not make or break a chart. So yes, this is looking rough. Yes, this is a red candle. Both in the grand scheme of things, taking it back and looking at more than just one 30-minute segment, you can see that overall, there is still a genuine overall uptrend. So for those people that like to play pullbacks, then hey, this last 30 minutes may present an opportunity within my mind, that the main pullback area being right there at that dollar mark. So we'll see if the price can head back there. In terms of areas of resistance, I think it's very straightforward now. Going to be right around that resistance level right there. Pretty cruel move though. Like I said, the last 30 minutes broke out, acted like it wanted to get moving, and then said, just kidding, and really plummeted to the downside. So a rough move there, but once again, that is just a 30-minute session. So I'm not saying because of that, the entire chart's destroyed. Absolutely not. Now, if you're a day trader and you bought that breakout and you were planning to buy and sell within 20 minutes, well then, yeah, from that perspective, things are looking really rough. But from the overall standpoint, still plenty of opportunity for the chart to build an overall higher base and can continue on with the uptrend. Next one, AMC, and AMC is going to have a very much so, we'll call it self-fulfilling prophecy area, because once again, and this will mean more to those of you that watched the previous videos, talked about that pink line, the famous 200 period moving average being a resistance, and check it out today. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, price got up that area and just couldn't quite push through it. But I assure you that a bunch of people around the world have noticed this level. So while that doesn't guarantee anything, doesn't make it reasonable, plausible to think that if the price gets up to that area and can break up through it, that break could create some additional upside buying pressure. That is certainly a more than plausible thought process to have. So continue to watch that, as I'm sure a lot of people are, is that main breakout point. In terms of areas of support, the level here that's now establishing itself quite a bit, right here around $12.60, which also happens to be the current value of that purple line there. So you kind of have a double whammy of support right there to keep an eye on. But overall, definitely, I think most eyeballs will be watching that 200 period moving average. So let's see if the price can finally get a breakout through there on Friday. Next one, Vvpr, and this is on here for the very same reasoning as AMC in terms of that whole topic of self-fulfilling prophecies. But I guarantee you, people around the world have drawn $1.70 as that key resistance point, because once, twice, 3 times the price has been rejected from that area. So once again, to reiterate, does that mean that it's guaranteed that if the price breaks through there, it's going to shoot upwards? No, of course not. But is it plausible? Absolutely, because all sorts of people will be watching that level. And then you combine that with the fact that we just have a good old-fashioned, and I'm drawing this very crudely, but just to illustrate the point here, put the golf float on there, have a good old-fashioned bull pennant pattern. Again, there's going to be that many more people watching it. So if you like to play stocks down below $5, you like to play bull pennant patterns, I'd say definitely have this one on your watch list. And once again, these were all placed very strategically. Same exact principle here. We have our self-fulfilling prophecy point right there. I assure you, a lot of people have drawn that trend line, so I'm not trying to impress you or imply that's a secret discovery. A lot of people have done that. So no guarantees, but is it valid? Is it plausible to think that if the price gets up there and pushes through there, that could create upside buying pressure? Yes, that is a more than plausible thought process to have. In terms of levels of support, very, very well-defined level down here at $2.80. I'm not to count the number of times. Looks like about 7 times price got around there, held strong. And then on top of that, you also have the 200 period moving average potentially acting as support. And then to make this all one pattern here, so we have resistance, we have support, we have the momentum move right there. This would be more of a bull flag pattern, but same exact premise. If you like to play stocks down below $5, you like bull flag patterns, here you go. Next one, NIO, and we have the price right up here at this red line, which I've talked about before. And you can see that with a little bit more data, I'm going to go ahead and adjust this level up to basically that $17 mark, which does make good sense. It's that big round number. And it was, generally speaking, an area of support back here. So just a classic example of now this area of support behaving as resistance in a couple different situations here. But yeah, you're getting the groove here. As far as, is that a self-fulfilling prophecy point? Yes, I assure you, a lot of people are going to be watching $17, rightfully so. Even if you don't even, factor any of this in, let's just pretend, that doesn't even exist. Even just squeezing in here, very much so, a lot of people will be watching, because that was the rejection point from back there on the 18th. And then it was rejected several times today. So you better believe everybody and their brother's uncle from a breakout standpoint will be watching and will be wondering about that $17 mark. So we'll see if the price can break above it. And if it does that generate additional buying pressure? We'll see what happens on Friday. Next one, SOFI. Talked about this yesterday and how it was actually a very strong day given the context of the markets getting beat up yesterday. So one of those situations where even if the markets were kind of strong today, then I expected this thing to make a move upwards, and sure enough, it did. So just a classic example of finding stocks that are strong relative to the overall market, and then it doesn't even take that much to get them to keep moving upwards. But the overall trend continues on this one. So a couple of updates as far as newest area of support for anybody that likes to play pullbacks. Right there around $7.55 is an interesting level. And then in terms of levels of resistance, quite clearly a key level there now at $7.90. And then if you want to draw a little miniature pattern here, and we have our resistance, we have our support, we have our momentum move. So a nice bull flag pattern within a very straightforward upwards trend here. And the easiest way to see that uptrend is that purple line, 50-period moving average. You can see it has a very nice upward slope to it. Next one, SIGA, and this is a very bizarre looking chart, but that's good. That's the whole idea of a watch list, right? Let's find unique situations. And this is one of them because, wow, was that a crazy 30-minute session right there. But to be fair, has spent the late afternoon working its way back upwards. But as I speak, last 30 minutes, not the greatest candle here that's forming, which suggests that maybe this was just a little dead cat bounce here. However, within all of this mayhem, there can be some very interesting situations and a level here that I think makes sense to keep an eye on. Going to be right down there at $8. No fancy reason other than it's that round number. And you have it right, that's where it bounced from here. So once again, no guarantees, but is it plausible? Is it rational to think that the price could come down here, create a double bottom pattern, and then potentially bounce back upwards? Not necessarily reverse up to highs, but even if you get half of that distance from a trade perspective, from a risk versus reward perspective, that could be a very interesting scenario. Of course, that does assume that you're going to be disciplined and you have risk controls within your trading strategy. But yeah, if this does roll back over, potential double bottom, worth at least keeping an eye on. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and talked about these levels previously, and they still completely in play, specifically that $700 mark, which was tested during the opening 30 minutes. Slight little breakdown before a big move back to the upside, but you can see that with the late afternoon weakness of the price just, trending downwards, it's looking like $700 will be coming back into play on Friday. But, the big question is it going to hold? You're going to have some people saying, well, it's bounced from there several times. I want to go long. I understand their perspective. You're going to have other people saying, no, I think it's going to fail, and that's going to create panic, so I want to pick up puts or I want to short this stock. I see where those people are coming from, but that's the challenge of trading, right? Because somebody's going to be right, somebody's going to be wrong. Both people have logical thought processes, but because there's no guarantees, you just never know, which again, circling back to that's why risk management, that's why risk control matters. But my core point here is that $700 remains a very key level and one that a lot of people will be watching. And then if there is a break below 700, then 680 becomes a very important level at that point, assuming, of course, that the price breaks down below there. Or if Tesla decides to turn around, then all eyes are going to continue to be on that 50-period moving average at 730. I was thinking of maybe just drawing a trend line right there and talking about that, but you got to be careful there because even if the price were to break the trend line, not that far above the trend line is that 50-period moving average. So you don't want to get one in a situation where you buy the breakout, you think it's a breakout, but then you forget about this moving average, which just happens to be there. So like I said, I'm just going to focus on the moving average, and that way, you don't have to kind of worry about getting caught in some sort of fake trend line breakout. But overall, those are going to be the main dynamics that I care most about as somebody that is very interested in Tesla. But in my mind, $700 is by far that most intriguing level. So we'll see if it comes into play or not. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can be used to help build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free class. Or like I said, if you're missing it because you already have something on your schedule this evening, or if you're watching this Friday morning and you literally missed it, that's all right. Like I said, the event will be recorded. So go ahead, drop me an email, clay@claytrader.com. and I'd be happy to send you a link to it. But again, because it is live, it first needs to happen, and then I need to get it uploaded. But after that's all done, I'd be more than happy to send you a link to that. So like I said, just drop me an email. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to make these videos, then please help me out with some basic feedback. Hit the like button, leave a simple comment. Say hi, tell me what you traded today. Tell me what you're watching tomorrow. Tell me, are you showing up for the class? But like I said, those two things communicate to me on, if you are enjoying these videos, and as long as I know people are enjoying, then I will continue to put in the time and effort required to create this sort of content for you. So hit that like button, leave a simple comment below, definitely get signed up for the class, or if you can't make it, certainly send me an email. Everybody take care. Have a good one.